Let's talk a little bit about Digi. Digi came alive about 5 years ago. We started developing Digi and getting into the crypto market. Both Brendan and I had been foreign currency traders for many, many years, taught people all over the world how to trade Forex, and just went through that whole Forex world, in and out of many different systems, developing different systems. We were educators on a platform called NinjaTrader, or guest speakers on NinjaTrader, which was a big platform. And where our goal was always to automate trading in the Forex world. And there was real issues with Forex and teaching people how to trade, the whole ability to get past their fears, their abilities to be successful. They were up and down, and trading was really hard on most people. So we went and started to automate the Forex world, and the brokers weren't as easy to deal with. So we kind of backed out of that, and we were asked to develop a automated system for the crypto space. Mm-hmm. Initially, I said no. I didn't want to do it for a lot of reasons that were probably reasons for people that are listening to us talk may have some of the same reasons. What is crypto? Is it legitimate? Can people really print money? You know, can they create a financial system that the world is going to honor or use? And these were all concerns that I had back 8, 9, 10 years ago when people introduced me to Bitcoin. I said, that'll never work. Well, I was wrong, right? Right. You know, but you know, you think about Bitcoin 8, 9 years ago, and you're thinking, well, how's that going to work, right? Well, when you understand crypto, you begin to understand it really is a technology-based system that brings value to the world, okay? And that underlying technology that crypto represents is that value. So once I began to really understand that, I go, okay, I get this. I understand how it works. Right. Let's develop a trading system that could trade the crypto market. Well, that's exactly what we did. We developed a system that is completely unique to the way that Brendan and I trade. And we trade based on volume. We look at what the largest traders in the world are doing. We look at where they're accumulating and buying and selling and doing all of their things. And we then decide if we want to buy and sell in those same areas and participate in the what we would call accumulation and distribution of a coin. Well, that worked so well that last year we had 180,000 winning trades. Wow. And this year, when you look at our trades are averaging between 4 and 8% per trade profitable. And we don't believe in this space. And some people are going to hear me say this, and they're going to go, he's nuts, right? But you got to understand what I'm getting ready to say. And this is so powerful for this space. And this is why one of the reasons I really enjoyed stepping into this space versus Forex. In crypto, if you don't do the futures markets and stuff, it's a non-leveraged market, meaning you own the asset, okay? It's like owning your home or owning your car, right? And if you own your home, the market of your home can go up and down in value, but you live in your home and you own the asset. In the Forex world, most of the people are trading what we call leveraged, 100 to 1, 400 to 1, 500 to 1, huge risk, right? If the market starts going down and you're leveraged 500 to 1, you can't sustain that. You have to sell your trade, get out, take a massive loss. Crypto isn't like that. If you're involved in the crypto space, and this is one of the things that I think everybody needs to hear out there. If you're involved in the crypto space and it is a underlying technology, It's a coin that you believe in. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, whatever the major coins are that you like. If you like the underlying technology, if the market goes down a little bit, it's no big deal because you own the asset and you're not leveraged. The market, if you believe in that, is going to come back up. And that's what we do. We ride those waves, we trade those trades. And again, 180,000 winning trades last year, predominantly no losing trades, other than if a trader closed out a trade themselves. But we rode the accumulation and distribution based volume all year last year with extremely high win ratios. So that's how Digiebot works. You know, there's a point here though when we think about leverage, and this, and I'm going to try to open up our minds a little bit here. Okay, when we think about Forex, US dollar against euro, that's a pretty controlled commodity, right? It goes up a certain amount, goes down a certain amount, and it usually stays within a certain ratio economically, one country to another country. They try to keep those things in balance, right? And so to really make money in those markets, we do need to be leveraged. Right. Because they don't have the range. I coined a term called the Bitcoin X factor, I call it. And what that really means is, yeah, I'm making 4% today or 5% or 8% on $100 or $1,000. And you go, who cares? It doesn't feel like a lot. But we're doing it many, many times, and we're accumulating these pieces of Bitcoin, like you said, right? And that X factor is what Elon Musk and Michael Saylor and these guys are talking about when Bitcoin goes to $1 million, right? And if it hits $1 million and I've accumulated a quarter of a Bitcoin or a half of a Bitcoin or one Bitcoin down here, now, what is my real leverage? My real leverage is the market, right? Going to $1 million. That's my real leverage. And so I don't have to over risk, take huge risks. All I have to do is accumulate. I have to get as many little pieces of this market as I can so that I can be positioned for my family and everybody that's trading with us to make that X factor move. That's the key. Awesome. Generational wealth. Yeah. And that's a big one for me. And, you know, so when I think of generational wealth, I think of how can I help people get to that place where they can actually do that. I mean, we've all tried so many things, right? And I know everybody that's listening has dreamt about owning their own business, or they've been involved in MLMs, or they've done this or done that, trying to create that generational wealth, right? And I say this to my friends, I say this to my families, and I'll say it to you. I don't believe in the entire history of humanity there has ever been an opportunity like this. Doesn't exist. We've never seen, now we've seen COVID hit, we've seen the owners of Amazon and the big businesses really become multi-rich during this time, right? The gap between the have and have-nots during this time has really expanded, right? But there's also been an opportunity created for us, the average people. And that opportunity is crypto. When we look at you know, one of the tokens that we just launched, which is Trubadger, and you're familiar with Trubadger. It's one of our tokens. It's an ecosystem that we're developing for the crypto space that really has business techniques and tools behind it. But we went from zero basically to about 2,500% return in 7 days. Oh. Now, when I talk about X factor, when I talk about generational wealth, right? Some of these coins are higher risk, but with the right education that we do in Digiebot and we do in nSights, the other coin that we're developing right now, we're going to release nSights on the 29th of October. And it's a trading tool like Digi, but for the higher risk market. It has vetting and all kinds of tools built in for the higher risk market. We think about taking $100 or $500 or even $50 for some people that we get into a 2,500%. And in some cases in this market, in the what we call the DeFi reflection market, we're seeing 25,000, 30,000% returns. And so we now can take small amounts of money in a higher risk market and take that money and then move it over to a more conservative market. Now, this is the oxymoron here. I talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin as the more conservative market. And most people out there are going, crypto's the wild, wild west. What are you talking about? Conservative market, man. I mean, that's the wild west, right? But really, when we think about Bitcoin and how it's being positioned now, it really is becoming the more stable conservative market in this space. And if we can create wealth, we can gain assets in the more risky side of the market with little capital, then we have a lot of capital to move over, accumulate 4, 5, 10 Bitcoin, and then be there for that X factor move versus a quarter of a Bitcoin, right? Absolutely. Yeah. That's the goal. But I think it's the Trubadger concept is building an entire business ecosystem around the crypto space. When we think about the crypto space in general, it's still really, really new. And you know, when I talk about utilities, I'm talking about functionalities of a token or functionalities of a system, right? So when I think of Ethereum or Litecoin or Polkadot, all of those are chains that have particular utilities that make sense in this space and what they're trying to achieve. When I see a lot of the other coins that are coming out, what we call altcoins, a lot of the other coins that are coming out, a lot of them you'll go on and you'll do the research, and you know this to be true, right? That a lot of them are coming out simply because it's a hot market. And they can launch a coin, drive the price up, and everybody that got in early got rich, and everybody at the top got stuck holding the bill, right? But when we talk about Trubadger, Catabolt, nSights, all of the tokens, some of the tokens we're launching, it's really about the business technology and concepts behind the coin. So what Peter and I bring to the market is years and years of business experience that we're actually putting business principles to the tokens to drive a ecosystem for this space, a space that will allow people to get involved in things like, I got to be careful what I say here because we're patenting some of this stuff. But you know, everybody's involved in music and movies and things like that. Think about a coin or an ecosystem that allowed people to participate in that and make money from that, right? So you're not launching a coin, you're launching a utility that has business principles and practices behind it that drive the value of the coin, other than what's currently happening with most of the coins, which is pure speculation. All right. The coins are going up and down in value because of the hype in the crypto space versus going up and down in value because it has solid business principles behind it. We're driving the business principle side, and we believe that is the next evolution. And we're beginning to hear other guys talk about it, right? That these things need to have business practices, business principles that allow any company to succeed or grow or have longevity. And if you don't have that, you're going to see this like the .com period, right? And this will be a lot like the .com period, where I remember my wife and I were at an estate sale, and we used to love going to estate sales. And there was this counter of books on it. And there was this one book that caught my eye, right? And it said everything you ever needed to know about investing. Okay. Wow, that's my kind of book. So, and this is maybe a little bit before your time, I know. Okay. But it's the same thing happening here. So I go over to the table, I grab the book, I go, okay, everything I ever needed to know. I opened up the book and all the pages were blank. There was only one word on the first page, .com. Because back when .coms came out, when Amazon was first starting and everybody, there was thousands of .coms and everybody was making tons of money. Any .com that came out with any concept, whether it was real or not real, everybody was throwing money in .coms, right? That's what's happening now in crypto, right? So we have these companies now for the savvy investor, or what nSights is going to do, right? nSights is going to vet the coins and vet the team and know what their technology is and know what they're trying to do, right? But for the savvy investor, for the new coins that are coming out, and you know how to look at the technology or the team and kind of vet that team, oh, huge profits, huge potential, right? And some of those are going to be grand slams potentially. And you're going to be there for the long run. You're going to be the person that bought Amazon when it first came out, but it's going to be the Amazon of the crypto space, right? And if you're there, think about all the guys that bought Amazon. And let's just say Trubadger goes to, and the people out there won't understand it. We're at 7 zeros and a 2 right now. If we go to 4 zeros and a 2, you are a multi-millionaire. We create that by understanding, do we believe in the token? Do we believe in the guys that are launching it? Do they know what they're talking about? Do they have business backgrounds, or are they just hyping something? And it's like Bitcoin, you know, and this is what, when we started in Bitcoin, right, it was at, you know, $1,000, went up to 5,000 and then 10,000, and everybody goes, oh my gosh, I missed the move, right? If the technology is still something you believe in, the art is accumulation. You buy, and if it drops a little bit, you buy again. And if it drops a little bit more, you buy again. Warren Buffett said this, right? I get greedy when people are fearful, and I get fearful when people are greedy. What does that mean? It means when people are scared and they're selling and the market's dropping, he's buying, right? And so accumulation, use the dips to buy. If the market starts to run, maybe buy a little bit more, but because if the top is 4 zeros or 5 zeros, we're still thousands of a percent, multiple thousands of a percent away from what we think our top is going to be. And then you get involved in nSights, and you get in when it's 7 zeros or 8 zeros when we launch, right? And then you make that move. So it becomes a whole portfolio event, right? So you got nSights, you got Trubadger, you got Catabolt, and then we bring other coins. Catabolt is actually a pre-launch platform. So we're going to get first look at a lot of the really good coins that are going to come out in this space, and we're going to be able to buy them at 7 zeros, 8 zeros, and they go to 5 zeros.
Beautiful,
guys.
It's beautiful.
This is a gate. I mean, it's a gate. Never in the history of the world, I don't believe we've ever been in a place where potential wealth for the average people, us out there, actually existed like this.